Wannian Wannian died 299, was an ethnic Dai chieftain and rebel leader during the Western Jin dynasty of China. He took command over a major tribal uprising in Qinzhou and Yongzhou in 296 that lasted until 299. His rebellion was the last of a series of rebellion in the 290s by barbarians living within northern China. Although it was put down in the end, the rebellion raised some concerns among ministers regarding the tension between the Han and tribal people, while also starting a mass migration of northerners to the south that continued into the 4th century as northern China fell. Prior rebellions. Wannian was not the first to hold a major tribal rebellion against Jin prior to the 4th century. Even before the Three Kingdoms had ended, a Xian Bei chieftain in Lianzhou, Tufa Shujining, went to war with the dynasty in 270, dealing them early setbacks by killing many of the generals sent after him. This caused worries in the court, but he was finally put down in 279 by the general Ma Long. Emperor Wu of Jin unified China in 280, and for the next 10 years of his reign, no similar rebellion would occur. Peace between Jin and the tribes ended in 294 when a Xingnu leader named Hisan Haosan rebelled. This was due to poor governance under Sima Lun, who was the commander of military affairs in Qinzhou and Yongzhou at the time, along with a nationwide famine that was taking place. He took Shangdang and killed the chief clerk of the commandery, but his rebellion ended quickly, as in autumn of the same year. He decided to surrender back to Jin. However, after giving himself up, Hisan had a younger brother named Dayuan Hao Duyuan. In the summer of 296, Dayuan allied himself with the king people of Mount Mal and Malan Shan in Beidi Commandery Beidai, roughly modern Tongchuan, Shaanxi, together with the Lushui tribes Lu Shui Hu. They killed the administrator of Beidi, Jiang Sun, and routed the administrator of Pingyi, Aoyingjin. The He brothers' revolts led to Sima Lun being recalled to Luoyang, while Sima Rong was appointed to replace him. Wannian's rebellion. In autumn of 296, the rebellion intensified after Dayuan defeated the inspector of Yangzhou, Hai Zai Jai Zai. His victory inspired many of the Kang and Dai tribe in Qinzhou and Yongzhou to take up arms as well. Soon, the rebels elected a Dai leader named Wannian to be their emperor before besieging Jingyin. In response, Jin ordered Xiahu Jun with Zhu Chu and Lubo under his wing to quell the revolt. Wannian was specifically worried about facing Zhu Chu due to his esteemed reputation as a capable administrator and general, but he was confident that the rebels can beat him if he was restrained by someone's control. Coincidentally, another famine had struck the Guangdong region, followed by a plague. This was a localized disaster, and faced with the tribal rebellions, the people of Qinzhou and Yongzhou were growing restless day by day. At the beginning of 297, Wannian encamped his forces at Mount Liangling Shan in modern-day Cayenne County, Shaanxi, and amassed a huge force of 70,000 men. Zhu Chu was only given 5,000 men to attack the rebels, so he advised against this decision. Sima Rong and Xiahu Jun ignored his warning and forced him to go. Together with Lu Bo and Hai Zai, Zhu Chu attacked the rebels at Liumo in modern-day Cayenne County, Shaanxi, where he made his famous last stand. Zhu was killed, and his forces were crushed, so the rebellion carried on. Another famine occurred in Qinzhou and Yongzhou that year, once more followed by plague. Food had become so scarce that the price for 10 pecks of rice rose to 10,000 in cash. The famine persisted into the following year, and it was around this time when many in the two provinces decided to migrate south to escape the turmoil. The court eventually grew frustrated with Sima Rong's ineffectiveness. In 298, Zheng Huan Chenzhen charged Sima Rong and Sima Lun with negligence of military affairs in Guangdong. A general named Meng Guan was sent in instead to replace them and put an end to the rebellion once and for all. Meng Guan was more dedicated in his work, personally leading the campaigns against the rebels and consistently routing them. At the beginning of 299, Meng Guan fought Kai Wannian at Zhongting, west of present-day Wugong, Shaanxi. Meng defeated the Dai army and killed Kai Wannian, ending the 4-year-long rebellion. Aftermath. The rebellion, along with the coinciding famine and plague, devastated Qinzhou and Yongzhou. The southward migration continued on into the 4th century and spread to the other northern provinces as Jin entered a state of civil war. The rebellion also raised some concerns regarding the coexistence between the Han Chinese and tribal people. One minister, Jiang Tong, because of the rebellion, wrote an essay titled Discussion on Relocating the Wrong Tribes the Ronglun, which he submitted to the Jin court, warning them about the threat possessed by the tribes to the dynasty. Apart from that, the rebellion paved way to the creation of 2 independent states in China, the first being Chaochai in 296, when the Dai leader, Yang Maosu, took advantage of the rebellion to lead his followers to the Chaochai region and declare independence. Another was the Badai Chenghan, as among the many who fled during the rebellion were Lai Ti and his family. Lai Ti gathered a huge following of refugees in Yizhou and led them to war against Jin in 301. Lai Ti's son, Lai Xing, drove out the last remaining Jin forces from Yizhou in 304 and declared himself the king of Chengdu, formally declaring independence from the Jin.